data. We are recording. And we're gonna flip the camera right that way.
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, good morning, everybody. I have the pleasure of introducing the first-time speaker for Business for Christ, Janille Leslie. We go back, like they say, like Cadillac, if you know what I mean. But very honored to introduce her. I actually met her while on active duty in the Navy. She made me do more crunches, more stretching, more things that bring on internal pain. But I'm here, right? And I'm feeling good about it. So we're all blessed. It's gonna be a great Sunday. And Janille Leslie.
Thank you, Mr. Byron. Thank you so much. So first of all, my apologies for not having my laptop with me. I didn't realize I needed to have that. However, I have everything on my handy dandy. I have my PowerPoint on my phone. I would like to just thank Carlos. First of all, a little bit about me. It was only about maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months that I first started at this church, at Skyline Church. One of the members at the gym that I go to, one Monday she was at the gym, and I just sat down beside her. She was stretching, and I sat down beside her, and she introduced me to Skyline. She invited me out here. Now that following Sunday I came, and I've been coming. And I remember the first time or the second time I saw Byron sitting outside in the courtyard, and I just knew that it was supposed to happen. I really do, right? Because I have not seen Byron in over, I don't know, a few years. And so I just knew that it was meant for me to be here. I'm sorry. Yes, it was absolutely fine. So I thank you for everything. So today, a little bit about myself. Like Mr. Byron said, my name is Janille, and we met doing active duty. And I was born in Jamaica, and from Jamaica, my dad and my stepmom, we came to the US in Brooklyn in the 80s, went to school there and everything. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I ended up joining the Navy. And so I spent 20 years in the Navy. In that 20 years, let me tell you, everywhere I went to, fitness was always a part of my job, whether I wanted it or not. Every 3 or 4 years, you rotated to somewhere else. And it was just, all right, even if I didn't want to do fitness, I was there. And every time I would actually say I didn't want to, and they're like, no, we heard about you from so-and-so, you're gonna be here doing the fitness program. So I was literally for 18 or 19 years of my career, I was involved in the fitness program. Fast forward to after I retired, I did not know what I wanted to do in life. I took 2 years off hiatus. I just didn't know. I needed to reconnect with who Janille Leslie was. In those 2 years, it was a roller coaster of emotion, ups and downs. And my body really wasn't my body then. I really suffered from a lot of aches and pains that while you were going in the military, you don't realize it. You didn't feel it. But those 2 years while I was not doing anything, it was, it took a toll. So a part of that was I had to relearn how to exercise, relearn how to work out, relearn how to do things. And fast forward 2 years after that, I ended up going to school at Southwestern College. I enrolled in the fitness and fitness specialist program, and I graduated last August. A part of that graduation, thank you. I was an intern at the gym that I'm working at currently, and it's in Scripps Ranch. It's called Fitness Quest 10. I did not know I was gonna work, and they were gonna end up hiring me, but they did, and I'm just ever so thankful. So part of that, this past February, I earned my ACE certification. So I'm a certified personal trainer through ACE, and I'm doing that thing that I've always wanted to love. So love doing. So Mr. Byron, no, when I was in the Navy, it was chop. It was we were on point with everything. But before we get started, would you like to lead off in prayer? Or just
keep going.
keep going? All right, yes. So again, my apologies for not having my PowerPoint in, so you can see my awesome highlights. But it's online, so we'll be able to see that. So this is called Motion is Lotion. Why do I say motion is lotion? And it's why should we exercise? If we don't move, everything gets tight and stiff, and when we start to move, it's like so movement. We need to move. We need to have motion in our lives. And I know sometimes as we go on, we think back to when I was younger, I used to be able to, and now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't, my back hurts, my knees hurt, everything hurts. But we still have to move. And a part of that is when we think we're in pain, but our body, that pain is signifying that, hey, something is wrong. So if we're sedentary, if we're always sitting down, if we're always just, we don't move, we get up, we go to work, we get home, we're not moving, we're not doing something actively, our body's gonna be signaling us to say, hey, that's not how we're supposed to be doing life. We are meant for motion, we are meant for movement. It's not just get up and go to the car, go to work, come home, and we need to do something more actively. We live in San Diego, we could get up and do anything. We could go for a walk at the beach. We could just get up and do something. We don't have to lift 100 pounds or, we just need active motion. Yes.
As part of your workout, do you have like an idea what you eat for breakfast?
Yes. So for me,
So do you have like a breakfast routine? What do you recommend?
So it all depends on so many things. So for me, let me rewind a little bit. I used to do fitness competitions. So I used to be on stage, in those little bitty nice bikini, and body was but a part of that was making sure that you ate the correct amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So when we hear carbohydrates, we think of one thing. When we hear fats, we're like, oh my God, fats. I don't want fats in my life. But we need the correct ratio of that. So for me, eating a healthy, balanced breakfast would be, I liked eggs, so it would be 3 or 4 literally boiled egg whites. Sometimes I'd have a slice or 2 of bacon, believe it or not. I like bacon. I might have some toast with either peanut butter or butter. Sometimes I would just have an oatmeal. Right now, I make a lot of overnight oats. Really, really easy to do. Like in a mason jar, 8 ounces of milk. I choose almond milk, some granola, maybe a 3/4 of a cup of oats. I like to put some chia seeds in that, a little bit of honey, a little bit of cinnamon. Sometimes I cut up some strawberries and I leave that in the refrigerator. And the next morning, it's the oats, it's soaked in, and that's my proteins, my carbs, my fats are in that one meal. And you could, when I eat that, it would be, I wouldn't be hungry for another 3-4 hours, because that's really substantive. The carbs it's filling without being overly overfilling. So for me, that would be breakfast. First of all, I'm not a doctor. I could only give recommendations or suggestions, but it all depends on your lifestyle, on what you like to do. Personally, as I've gotten older, I've gone to intermittent fasting, which is I don't eat breakfast first thing in the morning. We've been so trained, so programmed to get up and eat something and then go to work and, you know, we have a snack, then we eat a lunch, then we have a snack, we're snacking. But as we age, as we're getting older, and it's harder for us to keep the weight off for some of us. I've gone to intermittent fasting personally, and it's where I might eat my meal, my last meal might have been at 6 or 7 o'clock the night before, and I wouldn't eat breakfast until maybe 11 or 12 o'clock the next day. And it's because my body isn't necessarily saying eat right when I get up. I'm gonna eat when I'm hungry. So when my belly is starting to say, hey, you need to eat something, I have that meal ready to eat. We've been programmed for such a long time that when we get up, we need to eat something, we need to eat breakfast, we need to eat that pancakes, those, you know, the eggs, the waffles, or whatever. But if our body isn't hungry, then why give that body that meal? So that's like breakfast for me, you know. Yes.
Do you ever get tired of that breakfast?
I
mean, you don't eat that every morning.
No. Let me tell you, I eat healthy, but I can eat. Byron knows. I eat. Go ahead.
It's just, I know in the morning, sometimes I search for something different to eat. You get tired of oatmeal, you get tired of toast. But, you know, I mean, that's like one of the meals that you're very limited. You go out and eat, it's always the same thing. Eggs with either bacon, sausage, or ham, the home fry, which is all pretty much bad. Yeah, really. But I mean, I get tired of the same breakfast, and I just wonder how you do it, especially with that breakfast you talked about.
So again, because I don't eat all the time, and after a while, your body gets used to certain types of eating or when you want to eat. What I recommend to some of my clients that don't know what to eat is I'll tell them, you know, the muffin tin, you could mix your like scrambled eggs or prep your eggs with some spinach or a little bit of cheese, some ham, put that in the oven, bake your little muffin and freeze those. So it's like you have your little breakfast ready to go, but it's in the refrigerator, or, you know, once you bake them and within like 10-12 minutes, it's done being baked. And you can have that, yes, with your slice of toast, but you can change it up with, toast with, I'm not a big bread eater, honestly, over the years. It's just certain things that I've grown to realize that my body doesn't like. When I eat bread, I really bloat up a lot. So I pay attention to my body, and I've kind of not really totally eliminated, but I don't eat that day to day. So I would just say, experiment with whatever you have in the refrigerator. Do you need to eat breakfast food, what we typically call breakfast food for breakfast? No, because I will get up and eat leftovers. And whatever I ate the night before, I will eat that. But it's just a matter of how much you're consuming that time of the morning. But you want to just go healthy, you know, some fruits, some, you know, even yogurt, some bananas, you know, just it's going to be ultimately your choice, what you want to eat for breakfast, you know, what you want to eat. Yes.
I had a question about, you touched on it a little bit, but how about like the energy I want to imagine that you get out of it, what you know, put into your body and consume. One of the folks that I follow up in Canada, he talks about his pre-prepared meal. He knows exactly what he's going to eat the night before, literally.
Yes.
Like, and at what time, and all of that. It's kind of interesting, but it's very successful.
Yes, and that goes back to you as the individual. With my clients, when they come to me and they want to start losing weight, they want to start gaining muscles, I'm very specific with them in terms of how to eat, what to eat. Again, I'm not going to tell them eat this, eat that, but I give them their research. When you eat certain things, your energy goes through the roof. When you eat certain things, your energy just really goes down. And it's up to you to figure out what your body likes or don't like. There was a point in time, yes, so now I know specifically exactly what I'm gonna have for breakfast, exactly what I'm gonna have for lunch, what my snacks is. Because if I'm on a specific weight loss regimen, or if I want to really gain muscles, you have to be specific in what you are about to put in your body so you can see the changes that you want to see. So whether for weight loss, you need to know what causes you to be bloated. Me, broccoli. If I eat broccoli quickly, like if I eat a certain amount of broccoli, I need to introduce it to my body, systematically. I can't eat a lot of broccoli because I know my belly would just bloat up and I just feel, ooh, right. So it's for each individual to realize what are the things that causes them to have that energy, or what's that thing that causes them to really be like non-functional, like, oh my gosh, I don't have any energy right now, and it takes time. It really does take time.
Yeah, I've heard this before, they eat the food of your ancestors, because that's what your DNA is really prepared for. So I have 2 continents, the European continent in me, and of course, the North American, Central American continent. So I'm always trying to figure out, do I do the Mediterranean diet, or do I do the Spanish, with the corn masa? It gets really kind of crazy.
It does. And what I notice, or what I could see, is when someone talks about diet, I don't necessarily talk about diet. I say eat for life. Because when you do a diet, you might you're trying to do it for a certain period of time, but you want to eat for a lifestyle or your entire life, which is why it's important to, I'm going to use the word like probably just purge or be aware of, like for a 2-week period, eat certain things, be specific in the way you're going to prepare your breakfast, your lunch, your dinners. Go shopping for that specific breakfast meal that you want to prepare for. Go shopping and prepare your specific lunch. Go shopping and prepare your specific dinner. So that's what you're eating. And see over, and I would say a 2-week period. That's what I tell everyone. 2 weeks at a time. Don't think I need to do this for 3 months, or do 2-week period trials to see what your body is likes or doesn't like. See what your body feels like. What's your mental clarity once you're eating certain things, once you've changed it up. And it's just a matter of going back to, what are the carbohydrates you're putting in? What are the fats you're putting in? What are the proteins you're putting in your body? And really, those are the times you want to leave out anything that comes into a box. If it's in a box, put that off to the side. Really go out and shop for that purpose, and be specific for that 2-week period. And when you leave off that, stop from that 2-week period, you're gonna be like, whoa, if you go back to the way you used to eat, you're gonna realize certain things that your body is gonna be saying, ooh, I don't want this anymore. But you have to give your body a period of time to really introduce the things that you want to eat healthily or better, remove the things that some of us know we shouldn't be eating. Remove that for about a 2-week period and then reintroduce that. Think about the fact that add some more vegetables, add some more fruits. One thing that we do not do more of is drink enough water. How much water should we drink daily? Half your body weight in ounces. So whatever you weigh, half of that in ounces is how much water you should be drinking every single day. Because our internals, our cells, our body, the organs inside, they need that. So if we're depriving our body of water, sometimes we might be thirsty and we're thinking, oh, I'm hungry, but we haven't given our bodies the time to, to figure out what we really truly want to eat, So yeah, that answer.
Yeah.
And yes, as we're.
That makes a lot of sense in that I read once that water to the body is like oil to a car.
Yeah.
And every morning you want to top off the oil to try to get your water in the morning.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I agree. I like the fact that you just brought up that car analogy, because this is what I love. Your body, I look at it or tell people, it's like this automatic, this expensive awesome car. I don't know what each person's car's type is, but I have mine that mine's a Bentley, you know, maybe one day I'll be able to afford a Bentley, I don't know. But you wouldn't, you know, yeah, as you get up, think of your body as that awesome car, you know, and you want to make sure, you know, I wouldn't be putting, you know, low grade oil in my Bentley. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm feeding my Bentley premium stuff. So it's like, what are you putting in your body to make sure that it's functioning? Are you gonna stick the oil pump in, you go to the gas station and fill up and overflow with the gas? No, you're gonna make sure that you stop. And that's one of the things that we do. Sometimes we put too much carbs in our body when our body doesn't need it. Or we put too much of the wrong things, too much sweets, too much sugars in our bodies when that's not what our body needs. And again, it goes back to sometimes we might be thirsty and we're thinking we're hungry, you know? We have a question.
You mentioned about intermittent fasting. I've heard about that. But I've also heard that, well, I've heard in conjunction with that, that there's like a schedule, like eat every 12 hours or something. There's some trick about on timing. Do you know anything about it? Can you explain?
So I'll tell you my simple knowledge of it. And this is all me like going on YouTube and reading about that, besides what I learned. But so intermittent, it's where you're gonna stop eating at a certain time and then you're gonna resume eating the next day at a specific time. And if you're ready to lose weight, and sometimes again, you gotta make sure you wanna talk to your doctors before you get into any of these programs, whether it's intermittent, whether it's keto, whether it's Mediterranean, whatever diet. But it's you fast for an extended period of time. Because normally we're eating, you know, we eat around the clock nowadays. We get up and we just we truly eat around the clock. But our bodies, it wasn't meant for us to eat around the clock. And then again, we're eating, but are we putting in the action, the motion to get that excess stuff that we're eating off? And sometimes we're eating around the clock and we eat too much, but we're not moving, you know. So the intermittent fasting is just to say we stop eating at a certain time the night before, and we're pretty much gonna fast for a longer period of time before we start. So I know some people can do where the 8 hours, like an 8-hour window, maybe they start eating at 12 o'clock and they stop eating 12 p.m. and they stop eating at 6 p.m. So they just gave themselves only 4 hours to consume all the calories they need to consume. And then they're gonna not eat for an extended period of time. So basically they're fasting for maybe 18 hours or 16 hours. There are different things on the internet. And again, it's something that if you want more information on that, that's something you probably want to talk with your doctor about or someone else to say, hey, what's good for me for the goals that I want?
My favorite diet is just eat less. Now, what I've heard is before you eat your meal, drink a big glass of water and you'll eat less. And you know anything to that?
Yes, I absolutely do that. I feel like sometimes when we go sit down, like we go out to eat, and the first thing you want to, they bring a little bread, they bring all this, you're just gonna snack on that. I do that, you know. But drink water first, and then maybe order a salad or order the soup, and then you eat your entree. Or sometimes I'm telling you, I love food. I love to eat. When your entree comes, separate it already, go half with it.
And put it in a to-go container.
Right, you can
right
do
on.
that, exactly. And it's sometimes that willpower, it's difficult. But it's, again, what is your goal? What do you want for your body? What's going on with your body that you want to start doing those changes?
And also at home, I've gone from a 12-inch plate to a 10-inch plate. And-
Yes.
And because your eyes tell you to eat everything on the plate.
Yes.
Many times you can, eat too much.
It does. And again, it goes back to what do you want? What is your ultimate? Number one, the New Year's always come around, and what do we always do? New Year's resolution. And one of the big things besides, we want to lose weight. We get this awesome gym membership, and then we go for maybe a few months or a few weeks or maybe a month, and then we slide off. So it goes back to what do you want ultimately to do? What are you looking for in your your lifestyle change? Because it shouldn't be just about X, Y, or Z. It's a lifestyle change.
I think one of the issues that help us pace ourselves, like you said, drinking the water or having the salad, is it's my understanding that it takes our body 20 minutes to tell us that we are full. We can all flash through a lot of food in 20 minutes.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, because this past Friday, we had our holiday party at one of the house or holiday party, and the food was amazing. There was brisket, there was mac and cheese, there was real mashed potatoes, and some barbecue chicken. And I'm telling you, I really know how to pace myself. So I took a small amount, knowing that, girl, you going back and getting seconds. Oh my gosh. And when I finished eating, that was exactly what I said. I said, I know that my body, I'm not gonna wait for my brain to tell me that it's 20 minutes. I'm about to get some more right now. And I'm not going, because the food was so good. But yes, it takes 20 minutes for the brain to approximately to say, hey, I'm full, so stop eating. But by that time, we've already fed this awesome, wonderful machine, and sometimes we're not feeding it with all the right things. So yes, pace yourself and go back to, I'm a slow eater. When I go out to eat with my friends, usually they're eating all the appetizers, because I like to talk, and I'm talking, and before I know it, all the appetizers are gone, and they're like, oh my gosh, Janille, you eat so slow. But it's because I'm just talking, and I might be nibbling, and I'm talking and I'm nibbling. So I eat slowly when I'm out with my friends. So I do pace myself. But when I'm hungry, oh my gosh, it's all that popcorn. I do eat. But going back to something that Byron said in terms of your mood when you eat. Sometimes I do crave a little bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's. Man, I love some bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, and I need to put that grape jelly on it. So when I eat that, and I promise you, when I eat that, and I don't do it every day, but when I do eat that, within about 20, 30 minutes, I am so lethargic. And I mean, so lethargic where I really, truly do have to go take a nap. And I know it was because I ate that bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. And for me, as a person, as I've always been very health conscious. I would say to myself, these people that eat this all the time, they're not even aware of what's going on with their body, that this happens to them, that they're getting tired, that they, and it's like, because again, it goes back to pausing for about 2 weeks or so, and eating only certain things, reintroducing certain things to your body to say, oh my goodness, this is what I want to eat. This is good for me. This is not so good for me. So when the foods that causes you to go, man, I need a nooner, I need a nap, or the foods that say, oh my goodness, I have so much energy. So it's again, it goes back to you and what you want to do for your lifestyle change. And some of the things I say, when I say motion is lotion, sometimes, we wait until the doctor to tell us something that says, oh, you need to start exercising. That's the last resort. We want to start moving for our own reasons. If you have a grandbaby, you want to be able to run around with that grandbaby. You don't want the doctors to give you that an ill news to let you know that you need to start moving. One of the other things I wanted to say when it comes to weight loss, because that's one of the things people talk about a lot. Just remember, 3,500 calories, burning 3,500 calories is 1 pound. 3,500, 1 pound. So sometimes we're consuming so much, but we're not doing enough push-ups, jumping jacks to burn that 1 pound. And we keep adding on and we add on. You know, drinking the sodas. I'm not a big soda person, but that adds on those calories. The sugars, how much sugars are we taking in? How much sodium are we taking into our bodies, you know?
Yeah, you should never drink soda. Yeah, my doctor's office has a poster and soft drinks is 0. But, oh, I just forgot what I was
It'll come back. But
gonna say.
no problem. And one of the other things, and I didn't have a label, when you look at a label, a package, whether it's the soda package or the bread or whatever you're eating in a carton, pay attention to some numbers. And I didn't put it in the PowerPoint, but 449. So when you see the ingredients, you multiply 4 by the amount of carbs that's on that package or that label, multiply 4 by the amount of protein, and 9 by the amount of fats. So imagine when you look at something and you're thinking you're eating something healthy, and pay attention to how much that's serving. Did it say, is it half a serving in that container? Is it 1 full serving? Pay attention to that, multiply those numbers, and that's the amount of calories you're taking in from the proteins, from the carbs and the fats. And go back to thinking 3,500 calories is 1 pound, you know, because again, we're putting in all this calories, but we want to lose weight or we want to live a better lifestyle, you know.
Another thing that, because what you're saying is so applicable every day, but one of the things that put it in perspective for me is that to lose a pound, I think we'd have to run a marathon just to lose 1 pound. That's why it's a little bit a cinch by the inch, you know, just in terms of intake.
Yes.
That's truly the key, because we can't do the push-ups, you know, all day or run, or it's just that little tiny bit every day.
Yes. Again, it goes back to what are we, but how do we know how much we're putting in if we've never really calculated what we're putting in, you know?
I remember what I was gonna say.
Okay.
See, when you get old, you forget things. You walk into that room and say, why did I come in here? But speaking of getting old, okay, doesn't it come a time when your body cannot build muscle or cannot build muscle like it used to? Is there not an age, like I'm in my 60s, and when I was in my 20s, I could lift weights and you could see it. But now I'm in my 60s. Is there a point where your body cannot build muscle or cannot?
Nope. It's what you're eating, what you're intaking in order for that muscle to continue to build. So remember, when you're in your 20s or your 30s, you're eating a certain way. And now that you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you might still be eating the way you were in your 20s and 30s, but again, going back to being active and consuming the amount of proteins and carbs and fat. That's a real ratio that you need to have for each individual person.
You know, I had one question. One of the ways also that I make sure what I'm eating is I have an app. And I put everything in my app and it tells me, I'm looking at, okay, how many carbs have I consumed? How much protein? And for me to maintain my weight, I can only consume so much per day. And I look at it and I go, oh, I have not had enough protein today, or I haven't had enough, you know, whatever. And it also lets me know what the good fats are and what the bad fats are and how much carbs. So that really helps me personally, just maintain my weight level. And then, you know, that also in turn gives me that energy that I need from what I'm eating.
Exactly. That's a great point. MyFitnessPal is a great app. Chronometer is another great app, because you want to put those things in. If you're not being active, Because yes, it's about what you're eating, but you can eat and be active and add those calories in. But if you're not active, it is really important to know exactly how much you are intaking. So I hope that the information that I was putting out has been a little bit informative, and it's just about movement. You know, you don't have to have a gym membership. You could just go for a walk. Walking is one of the most underutilized exercise you could imagine. So yes, definitely, I just start moving, just move, get moving, and that's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, we got one.
Yeah, thank you very much for
You're
the
welcome.
the advice. And I want to take it to another side whereby, for me, I remember every day I probably put in 8 to 10 hours using computers, on the computers. What is your advice to people that are not conscious? Most sometimes I know I have to stand up maybe every hour to move, but before I know it, I put in 4, 5 hours sitting down. You know what I mean? So what is your advice to be more disciplined to work on that?
I would say this little, this right here, time yourself. You know, every 45 minutes or every hour, set the timer so you can get off, do some stretches. Just do some stretch, just do some stretches. Basic things, just stretch your body, do that movement. Every hour, let that timer go off. So you're just aware, some shoulder rolls, simple things, just that's simple. Walk to another coworker's desk and then walk back. But use that phone, set a timer so you can go off. That's the easiest and simplest thing. So thank you all so much. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much. And what a great turnout for our class today. And I heard last week was awesome too. And I guess we have these new little business cards. So everybody, if you could just grab a few, pass them out to your friends and family, let them know about our class. There might be new insights for them. And we'll close in prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this time we all can be together, Lord. Bless each family that's represented here, Lord. I pray for miracles in each one of our lives, Lord. You know the needs and wants of our heart, Lord. Pray for our Skyline family during this Christmas season, that we're able to worship with you, Lord, and just praise you. And I just pray that our coming 2022 year, that each one of us would be blessed. We'll fall on our face and just praise you and worship you. And I just thank you for your goodness and mercy in my life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And with that, we're gonna have our holiday party next Sunday here, bright and early. So bring your smiles and your ugly sweaters, and we'll have a nice EFC holiday party, Christmas party. Okay. Potluck. Bring your goodies. Bring a little to share. And God bless you each. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you.
Really wonderful.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll let you close it. Oh, yeah.